So I've had some time to marinate, ruminate, and also go through the 12 stages of grief of Everson Griffen having interest in the Packers, mutual interest, as it were. So, the mature, empathetic side of me is kind of like, you know what, Everson, you've been phenomenal ever since you got here in 2010, fourth round pick out of USC. We love you, and we understand if that's the only deal that's on the table right now, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what's right for your family. And even though they are the greasy, grimy, hated Green Bay Packers, you do you, babe. So that again, that's the mature, empathetic take. But the delusional, the fan side of me, and also just what's inconsolable, that's not the word, but also part of me, like the caveman fan side of me, is thinking just like, no, because this entire offseason, I do understand Everson probably feels a little bit slighted, a little bit miffed, because when he, at the 11th hour, 2019 offseason, when he restructured his deal, free up the Vikings some cap space, and also it turned his deal into a team player option where he could opt out of the deal if he hit certain statistical plateaus in 2019, which he did, right? He had a great season, number of pressures, great against the run as always, 8 sacks, I believe. And he was great. So when he opted out, because the Vikings were probably going to cut him anyway, he was like, all right, so we're going to opt out. We'll get a brand new deal. We're going to be good to go. Finish my career here with the Vikings. And then the Vikings were kind of like, all right. Yeah, you know that guy Afadi? You know that dude? He's pretty good. DJ Wanham in the 4th round, he's good. James Lynch in the 4th round, he's good. Kenny Willekes, Kenny Tryhard in the 7th round, he's good too. So maybe Everson's just looking around and just like, huh. So during all those discussions, when Everson had the whole goodbye on Instagram when the Vikings had ended talks, and the Vikings and Everson have been keeping tabs on each other throughout the offseason, where we said right away it was a straight up negotiating ploy. Now, it was very nice, very heartfelt words, and all Vikings fans felt really good about it. But two things can be true at once. It was great, it was nice, it was heartfelt, as well as it was a very much a negotiating ploy, where it was basically his agent Brian Murphy saying like, yeah, we're gonna spread our wings, learn to fly. We gotta be a peacock, right? So some tepid interest from Seattle, Pete Carroll. Some tepid interest from Arizona. He's from Arizona, as well as some interest from the Browns with Stefanski. I mean, this whole Green Bay thing came out of nowhere, and we did a video. I think it was last week when we were talking about his potential landing spots of what we've been hearing, because there have been zero chatter about this. So that does lead me to believe that this is yet another negotiating ploy by his agent Brian Murphy, which that's what the agent's supposed to do. Supposed to do some of the dirty work, keep his client looking good, etc. So just coming out of nowhere, just the whole, well, maybe the Packers are in. Maybe this will kick the Vikings' ass in gear and get my client a decent offer. But what if it's not? What if it's not? What if it's straight up vindictiveness? What if part of Everson is just like, you know what, Vikings, I gave everything to you guys, man, and this is how you do me. I'm going to go to your most hated rival. I will even take a league minimum or an extremely minimal deal, potentially even less that was on the table than what you were offering me, just to spit in your face, just to do that. And also, this is different than the Jared Allen situation, where Jared Allen, his contract expired, was worth every single penny of it, and then it took his talents to Chicago, 4 years, $32 million. Because Jared was frankly kind of used up. Plus, it was hilarious to see the Bears just punting that wad of money on Jared when it was like, for that, we thank you. So this would be a way different thing, especially since the Packers actually have less cap space than the Vikings. Potentially could throw a smaller offer at Everson than what the Vikings could muster up. So then, if Everson signs for a small deal just to grow across the river, when he potentially had other options on the table, including the Vikings, that is just wrong. I mean, that's just wrong. So I don't know. Like, portion of the fan base will never forgive Everson. It's the reverse Favre. But you see how Packers fans were burning Favre jerseys and also booing him when he showed up in 2009. But then eventually, bygones were bygones. Put his number in the Ring of Honor. Blah 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 blah. I assume that's what will happen with Everson. But if that does happen, and he takes that field in that green and vomit colored uniform, no. So I'm of two minds. I want to take the high road. I want to be mature about it, but just the absolute like to the bone fan in me, I'm just like, if he signs with the Packers, they'll just be like, yeah, F that guy. That's all. I'm sure you feel the same way too. Skull, no production value.